Well, hello everybody, and welcome to Heart and
Hello.
Soul Connected. I am so pleased to have tarot by Lavena here, who is also named Carrie, so you can probably call her either way. She'll tell us a little bit about why that name was chosen, but
Yeah.
I'm pleased to have her recommended by Jean Labrie, Sun Psychic Jean. So here we are, Jean, and I'm so glad you reached out to me and told me about Carrie's channel. So
Yes, and
thanks.
thank you. I'm so pleased to be here. Honored.
That's good. That's good. Well, I'm honored to have you. So thank you. You're living in my neck of the woods where I grew up,
Yes.
and we have a lot in common, because I was born in Massachusetts, lived in New Hampshire, and I've been out here since '07. But I go back and forth sometimes. My brother lives there still, so I go see him and my friends. So
Yeah.
yeah.
And I always say I'm in that in between area between Boston and Providence, Rhode Island. So
Ah,
just kind of right in that southern
right in
part.
that area.
I think
Okay.
I have more in common with Rhode Islanders, to be honest, than I
Probably.
do
Yeah.
Bostonians.
Yep.
But I know a lot of people not from this area. They'll just always say, "Yeah, she's from Boston." So I just
Uh-huh.
go with
Yeah.
it.
Well, I live 40 miles north in New Hampshire, and so you just said you were from Boston,
Yeah.
usually, because people
Yep,
didn't
that's
know
what you
everything
do.
else.
You just say,
Yeah.
"Yeah, it's Boston," because that's what
Uh-huh.
people know. Yeah.
That's interesting that you say that, though, because my grandfather's family way back, because he would have been in the 19th century.
Mhm.
My father was born in 1917, so you can see, and he
Oh,
was a young, older grandfather, but he owned a furniture company down in Providence. And so I
oh,
have some roots there. I do have some roots there as well,
yeah.
way back when. But yeah, that's awesome.
Most of
So,
my mother and father's family are from Rhode Island. So we
okay.
crossed the border when I was about 3rd grade, and
Uh
so
huh.
I've lived in Massachusetts ever since, but most of my family lives in Rhode Island.
Okay. And
And
you
of course,
say,
I frequent the beaches, so
oh, yeah.
I love
Oh,
the
yeah.
Rhode Island beaches.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And they say Rhode Island, don't they? They put it all
Rhode
together.
Island.
Rhode
Yeah,
Island.
so
Yeah.
I have a thick accent, I know I do. Park the car and have
It's
a
okay.
yarn. It's
Mine,
okay.
I'll probably end up falling back into mine when I talk to people from the east that have one. I tend to
Yeah.
do that. So
I own it. I own my accent.
you own it. You're a good girl. You're a good
Yeah.
girl. So I just want to say hello to Teresa and Squadio Data. Oh, go sit in the sunshine. Oh yeah, that's a good place. Hi Juno and Sheila. I'm glad you're all here to meet Carrie and to talk about her channel. And she's open to coming on anybody's channel to do readings with you. She's been around for about a year, and she's ready to take it to the next level. So
I
keep in
am.
mind, everybody, and sending out a lot of love to all of you. Oh, thank you, Juno. Juno just had something happen to her that was kind of scary. So I just want to send her a little bit of love and a lot of hugs. All
Oh,
right,
yeah.
dear. Take care. Hi, Healer Jules. It's nice to see you. Nice to see you. So let's talk about the beginnings of your interest in either tarot or the spiritual path, or how long have you been on this path?
Uh, when you, I would say most of my life, really, as many people, we've been connected since kids, since we were young. So, but I didn't know I was on that path. And I
Oh,
would say my childhood was, I know a lot of psychic people will say I had a lot of trauma in childhood, hard times, and that sort of connected them to the healing realm. I had
uh-huh.
the complete opposite experience. In my childhood, I would see things in my room. I had a lot of medium experiences, thought everyone had them. I thought,
Oh,
well,
wow.
people saw me as very mature, but I was just really connected as a
Hmm.
kid. And
Hmm.
then I had no trauma. I had the most, as we'd say, kick butt childhood ever. I was very involved. I was the girl who did everything. I was relatively popular. I had great parents. And then I hit
Wow,
my
that's
20s,
great.
you
Yeah.
know. So
Yeah.
my lessons I think came a little later. I had it's almost like spirit said, "Yeah, you have a good time because the work is coming."
It
You
works.
know that the work is coming.
Right.
So it was the 20s where I really came to terms with my empathic abilities and my psychic abilities and kind of tuned in a little more. And it was
Okay.
more through negative experiences. And I like
Oh.
to say in my 20s, I lived my first life where
Mhm.
my childhood, I was going to be an actress. I went to college um,
Me
to be on
too.
the stage. Did you really? I went to Syracuse University Drama Department. Shout out to
Oh
Syracuse University.
my
And
God.
I was like, yes, I'm going to go to New York. But
Yep.
then in the early 80s, when I went, before the Me Too movement, I would have to say that that's when the reality of the business really hit me.
Yeah. Yep.
Um, Vanessa Williams, I think I said her name right, the first Black Miss America, she had just
Yes.
left Syracuse. So she was,
Okay.
we just heard about the scandal and it was hard on the school. So it was just all whispers of what girls had to do. And it was focused on image and it was just so not me. And so I
Right.
swung the complete other way,
Uh-huh.
quit school, worked at a bank, got married at 21 and had 2 children by age 26. And I was living this nice conservative life. Can I ever repeat one more time? I worked at a bank. Yes,
So
I
did
was
I.
miserable. But
I
yet,
worked, that's my first job was at a bank. So I know.
yep,
Yep.
I was a teller and then I sold bank products. And I
Uh-huh.
just have to say, this is one of the psychic experiences that kind of switched me like, what are you doing?
Uh-huh.
We, of course, in bank, you have to sell products. That's what
Right.
you're there to do. You have quotas.
Right.
You have to sell bank products. And so I had this business owner, and he was one of our regular customers, and I had to sell him a business retirement plan. And
Okay.
this was the early 90s when the
Mm-hmm.
economy was really bad. The savings and loans had started to
Mm-hmm.
collapse and so forth. It was hard times. And this business owner, he's just like, Carrie, I want to do this. I do for my employees, but I don't know if I can keep my doors open. And he went through this big heartache. And
Sure.
then the psychic me kind of came in naturally, the
Sure.
healer, like maybe there's something we can do. I'm going to get you a cup of coffee and we're going to talk about this. It's okay. I go in the back, get his coffee, and my manager said, the soft sell really isn't working. You need to go to the hard sell and seal the deal. And I said, but he's going through all these hard times. And she's like, we're not here to be counselors.
Goodbye.
That was one of those wake up moments. Like,
Oh yeah.
where
Yeah.
am I? What am I doing?
Right.
It was a
Yep.
awakening moment.
Oh,
And so
wow.
then I got my first, it was 1992. I hope I have the year right. It was around that. It was when the Soviet Republic fell. And
Uh-huh.
I remember it was right after that experience, and I saw the flag go down, and it was one of my hits that it was time to make a change. And that's when I went into education. So I just
Mm.
quit, went to graduate
Mhm.
school. We were poor, poor, poor. I didn't know what the heck I was doing, became a teacher. And that's when I really honed the psychic skills that I have as a teacher. Because as you know, when you're working with, well, it doesn't matter, children or adults.
Right.
You're using those healing abilities naturally. I might
You
not
are.
have been aware fully, but I was
Mhm.
using them. I was practicing
Right.
them.
You were practicing
I
those
was
empathic skills.
I
Yes.
was.
Yeah.
And I was more the healer teacher and that person who would inspire the kids and that sort of thing.
I understand.
And I was
Yeah.
doing fine until my next bump, which was 9/11. Nine
Oh,
11 was my real life tower card. And it
sure.
was that moment when just everything changed for me. So I think the whole path was practice until then. And then
Mhm. Mhm.
9/11 it was almost like spirit said, okay, get serious now. Buckle up,
Yeah.
buttercup, because
Right.
we're going. We're
Right.
going. And if I was incarnated for any time, that's what it meant to me. It was like something was going to
Understood.
happen. And
Yep.
shortly after that, I left my full-time job as a
Mhm.
teacher, which is unheard of in the world of,
Yes.
I had like a cushy job with
Right.
seniority and benefits.
Sure.
Why would I leave? Because
Right.
I'm, crazy. I'm following this path.
Yeah.
And I got into teaching part-time at the college. I was teaching teachers. So I had experience teaching adults and honing those skills.
Right.
And then I picked up a deck of tarot cards. And my 38th birthday, my mother gave me $25. I was poor, didn't know where my next meal was coming from, but hey, I'm going to buy a deck of tarot cards.
There you go.
And I journaled
Good
on them, and I started reading professionally like a month later. Just so obviously I've done it in other lives. It was just,
oh yeah.
I just had to remember.
And I remember hearing myself, someone tell me, you need to use what your knowledge that you've accumulated over all of these lives, or you're going to lose it and have to start from scratch. And I thought, oh, hell no, I'm not going back. I need to. And I've known this for years and years, but it took, it actually took the lockdown for me to get back to it.
Yeah.
And very happy. Very, very happy that I mean, I'm not happy people are dying and we have COVID, but I was very happy to get that break, to get that opportunity to look at my life and say, I got to get back to this. Something's got to give here, so that really does make a difference. I just want to say that Sheila says she's been a longtime subscriber to your channel and that you give great readings on politics. There you go, girl.
Sheila reached out to me too, and she wants to collaborate. So thanks, wonderful. Sheila. I sent you a message.
Yeah. That's great. That's great. Yeah. Yes. You're going to grow from this, girlfriend, and be on a lot of other shows, I'm sure, and have people on yours.
Yes.
Have a lot of fun.
That would be so much fun.
I know.
Yeah.
So the tarot cards that you bought were your first deck that you ever had?
My senior deck, which is now just a hodgepodge of messiness. I don't use it as much anymore because they're just really difficult to use now. Right. But it just came to me. This kind of fits into the story of my name because I had a lot of teachers appear during that time. There was a little place called Inner Wisdom in my town, and I got to connect to a spiritual community. I got to hone every skill, like mediumship, learn about crystals. I was Reiki. I took all the Reiki classes before I even understood what Reiki was. Mm-hmm. It was a good education for me. And I also had a really amazing reader named Karen Bannock. She used to be on a psychic line. And I kind of met her there, and we became friends at that time. And she's the one who inspired me to read professionally. I don't even think she's aware of that. She's in the Pennsylvania area, but she just let me kind of jump in. And I started on a psychic line, and I'm still on that psychic line. But that's where Tarot by Lavena came to be, because, when you're on a psychic line, you don't use your real name.
Right.
And that's how I was branded. But since then, on my path, you had mentioned the lockdown. The lockdown for me was a transformational time, I think, because I had to take a time out, not to change my path, because I think I was on the right path doing spiritual work. But I think for me, it was the psychic lines don't really work for me in a lot of ways. And it's not that you can't get a good reading on a psychic line. So anyone who goes, I don't want you to think like it's all bad or something. It's just for me as a reader right now, it's not resonating with me. Like I want to do different kinds of readings. I want to do something a little deeper. Yeah.
And not like, am I going to get a new job? And is there a man in my life? And you get tired of that, I suppose. Yeah.
Who's my true love? And again, people are where they are, and they need help too. I think Denise Siegel, who I really admire, she actually said, working a psychic line is kind of like working triage. Like when you're a doctor, the emergency room.
I could see
you're putting in Band-Aids, and I thought that was a good analogy.
It is.
Maybe for me, I just kind of, I want to maybe specialize a little bit. So it was a time to kind of think it over. And that's where the YouTube channel popped up to kind of spread my wings. And now I'm actually looking to rebrand and come up with a new name. So stay tuned. You heard it here first. And I'm also developing a course that I hope people will take. And it's called Tarot Writing, where you can actually use tarot cards, whether you have experience with them or not, and the writing process to connect with your higher self and your own stories and things that need to be healed, and also to learn to connect to spirit and to do your own readings. So Stay tuned, folks, because
That's
that's coming.
awesome. You
Yeah.
know, Sheila used to be Inquisitive Tarot, and she changed her name, and she's now Sheila Angel Feather. And so people are morphing into other, other
Yeah.
names and more resonance for themselves. Oh,
More resonant.
everybody's
Yeah.
subscribing. Thank you so much. That's so nice of you to go over there and do
Oh,
that.
thank
That's
you.
awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
Um, I just taped before this, I just taped a series I'm doing on the tarot, but I'm doing archetypal Jungian look at the tarot cards.
I
So,
love the young and the archetypes and Joseph
yes,
Campbell.
yes,
Um,
yes,
so
yep,
much fun.
yes.
And that was pretty much when I taught high school students, we used to do a fairy tale unit to
Uh-huh.
develop all of those archetypes
Archetypes. Yeah,
and of course, what's the tarot? It's just the hero's journey.
that's all it
So
is.
that's
Yep.
all it
So yeah,
is.
I've been wanting to do this for a long, long time, and I started working on it a couple of weeks ago when I had some time. And I'm, if everybody likes it or they want more of it, I'll go on. I just did the magician. That's all I've done right now. And
Oh, awesome.
I'm gonna post it soon. So I love the idea of the stories. I think
Yeah.
that I'm a big journaler. I mean, I have
Yeah.
a whole bunch of journals. I mean, they're
Same with
everywhere.
me.
And,
Same with me.
yeah. But you also taught English too, right? You taught
I did.
English
I taught
high. Yeah.
English. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
So you
but
and
the
I have so much
journaling.
in common.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I know. Yeah.
Wow.
So funny.
So yeah, it was mentioned in the chat that some people, we're just all growing, and we're being opened more, and we're learning more, and then that takes it over in this direction and that direction. I just love that. For me, I love collaborating as well. I do I do some series and things like that, but I love collaborating. So when you get your course all set up and I'd love to have you come back and talk to us about it, and then maybe get some
Oh,
people to go over there and
absolutely.
take it. Will you be doing it on Zoom probably, or?
I do kind of foresee Zoom as the platform because you can do breakout groups and such.
Uh-huh.
Again,
Okay.
I haven't
Yeah,
done any of this stuff. Like I know the teachers
I
through
know.
the pandemic got to learn it all, and I didn't get to learn it all because I had already left
True.
the profession. But
That's
I'm
true.
a fast learner, and
Yeah.
I feel like I have in my mind how it would work. So I just have to figure out the tech, and I
Yeah.
know that we'll all figure it out. And I know
We
my
will.
first students will be very patient with me.
Right. I'm
I just
sure
have
they
a
will.
feeling they will.
Yep. They're
Yeah.
just dipping their toes in,
So
and
different,
it's so
they
much
say,
fun.
"You're my
Yeah.
first," and yeah,
Uh-huh.
it's
Yeah.
gonna go from here, and we'll tweak it from there. I'm very excited. I was just working on the planning today, and I just got more and more excited because I was already downloading how the process was gonna go,
Oh, look at that.
and, it's just
That's wonderful.
it's exciting. So I
Yes,
can't
it
wait.
is.
I can't
Yeah.
wait.
Hi, Miss Charlotte. Carrie is talking about, she is starting a class on her channel very soon. And it is about using the tarot cards in storytelling and writing and making
Yeah,
your own
especially
stories.
specifically our stories
Our
as
stories.
opposed to fiction. So
Right.
we're gonna really investigate the self and our own healing,
Yep.
things that need to heal and so forth, and our own joy, connect to our joy at the end. And
Yeah. There's another thing that I've considered doing many times, and it's called, they're different cards that you make. It isn't tarot cards, but it's like soul collage. That's the name of it. Soul collage.
soul collage. Tell me about
And
that.
Soul collage, there's a book out on it. You can buy blank cards, and then you do a collage and you make your own cards from the collages. And then, so I'm thinking, that it would be a wonderful class to do, because I'm one of those people too. I like stickers and paint and all that stuff. But it's so much fun. But you can make your own. You could make your own all positive cards. You could make other cards. But yeah, I was introduced to it probably about 8 or 9 years ago, but just never did anything with it yet. So, but
I'm gonna look
it's out
into
there.
that.
You can look it up on Amazon. They have it, and they have the book and they have the cards. So yeah. And if you
That's
like
great.
collaging, where you cut up newspapers or whatever.
Well, it's interesting you should say. The reason I'm so piqued is one of the lessons I was just developing today was I wanted them or the students to do that kind of collage activity to kind of connect to something that they were going to see in the cards about themselves. But I
Mm-hmm.
was like, whoa, what if we could even expand that and develop our own
Expand it.
cards?
Because some people are visual learners. Here we are, we're
Right.
teachers, we know this. There's auditory and there's seeing and there's work, making things, and visual. And I usually have students in my freshman classes, we do a thing called visual rhetoric paper where they have to take something. They can even take a card and they have to talk about the colors and all the, the images and all that, and what message it gives, that kind of thing.
Right.
And so I'm very big on that because I actually have more of a humanities background than I do writing background. I mean,
Right.
I can teach all of that, but it's so much fun to get involved in other things. So that's good. You should do that. That would be wonderful, because not only are you creating your story, but you're creating a picture that goes along with it.
Right. And really, the pictures in the tarot cards are super important. That was one of the first things that I wanted them to connect to, because tarot is visual. We're looking at those visual symbols, the visual archetypes. And I want the students to be able to internalize those, but also develop their own dictionary of symbols so that they can start communicating with spirit on their own. And I think it starts with just understanding those basic archetypes.
It's very true. And I've heard many times from many different tarot readers and teachers that, pretty much we're in that time period where they say throw away the book and just do it. Just do it, intuit, intuitively. And I do that with my oracle cards. I feel comfortable enough to do that with my oracle cards. But I like the idea. That's why I like the archetype idea, because I just wanted to explain. A lot of people don't realize that there are tons of archetypes. And Carolyn Mace talks about the different archetypes, and we are usually more than one. And I said, everybody has a saboteur, somebody in there that's, no, good cop, bad cop type, So,
and we all have to examine our shadow side, which I'm actually going to make as one big part. As I'm trying to make the courses kind of almost go through what the cycle the tarot takes us through. And part of that is examining our darkness. And you don't like to do that. No, I don't like to look at my darkness, but we all.
I did a series on shadow about last summer sometime, and I have it up. And I did 5 or 6 different installments of it, but yes, we do need to look at it. It is vital. And there's even decks out there. I don't know if you're aware of this, but there are decks that are shadow decks. So you might want to,
Well, actually, wait, hold on.
Miss Charlotte, I'm my own saboteur as well.
This one.
Oh, you got the Murder Crows. Okay. Yep.
And that's real shadowy. When my sister gave me a bunch of stuff for Christmas and I looked at it, I was like, what do you want me to examine? but yeah, it's good to kind of look at those darker aspects of yourself.
It is because, we all have them. We shouldn't be so embarrassed about it, really.
No.
Because there are parts of ourselves that we don't particularly like, but if we can own it and move forward, and know how to do that.
And that's why we're here. I mean, that's why we've incarnated. I mean, I know everyone wants to ascend and the energies, getting higher and so forth, but we're still here for a reason. Right. And we're still in the body and we're here to learn. And part of it is working out our own karma. Yeah. I'm sure many of us have been here quite a while.
What I really hate is when I don't learn the damn lesson and I keep getting it back and I'm like, why don't I learn this?
I know. No, that's me all the time. But we're our own worst critics. We are. Because of what we do.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. So that teacher background is perfect for you. And yes, I have taught online since 2005. And so this shift into teaching online or doing these kind of things wasn't a big deal for me. But I liked that it got me to refocus on what was important, I guess, because you can get on that treadmill and just keep going and going. And then, I'll take a rest later. I'll do this later. I was teaching a lot of classes and I wasn't having any fun. And, you can't do that to yourself.
That's exactly where I was, just doing what I was doing with readings. And again, I like to read, but I was feeling stuck. I was feeling like this isn't as fun as it used to be. So that's when you know there's something more, that there's a next step, and they
Yes.
just want you to expand. They just
That's
want you
right.
to kind of
That's right.
broaden yourself a little bit.
Yeah.
You have to
And
be having fun.
oh yeah, you have to be. And I would think that it would be really, I know the psychic line is a good thing for some people, like you
Yeah.
say, that need that. But you are a counselor. You do end up being a counselor for these people.
Yeah.
Because
you
a
really
lot of
do.
them are like at their last
Rope.
straw or whatever. Yeah. And they don't,
And they might
please give
not
me an answer.
Yeah, they might not have a spiritual person in their community, or maybe they're in an atmosphere where that's taboo. So the psychic line becomes like this thing where they can have privacy and anonymity and just be able to express themselves. But it's draining. It can be very draining for the reader.
Oh, Lauren is telling me that Linda G, you know who Linda G is, I assume.
Do know who Linda G is.
She says Linda G is on live and has a message that we'll want to check out when this is over. Thank you, Lauren. We'll do. We'll definitely do. Yeah.
If Linda G is getting a message,
it's probably more clogged toilets at Mar-a-Lago. That's all. It went from one place to another. That's all.
Did you see the Lincoln Project did the little video like way back when he was talking about the toilets flushing 15 times? And everyone's like, what is he talking about? This is messed up. It makes sense now.
It makes sense now, doesn't it?
I was like, it all came together.
And I love them at the Lincoln Project. They are so much fun. So dead on. Steve Schmidt, really.
And why didn't we put it together? Because everything that he's doing comes out of his mouth. Like it just comes out.
He tells us the truth about
he just
what
tells
he's
us.
doing. Right.
He was telling us then what he was doing, but no one put it together.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, wow.
Crazy.
Oh, Tarot Stash. Okay. Your power went out. I'm supposed to see him at 2:00. So if you're not here, we'll reschedule it. We'll see if it comes back, hon. All right. Thanks for letting me know.
Oh, his power went out? Oh, no.
His power went out where he was. Yeah.
Yikes.
So, all right. Yes, Sheila says it totally makes sense, that toilet flushing silliness. And it was Chris on MSNBC, the guy that's at about 8:00 Eastern time, Chris O'Donnell. What's his name? Chris somebody. Anyway, he showed a whole bunch of clips of him at all these rallies talking about the toilets. The toilets. The toilet.
And at the time, I remember saying, what is this guy talking about?
Right.
But now it makes total sense. Total sense.
Total sense.
I wish I could have put it together then, but I was just bewildered.
I know. He was giving us all kinds of news.
All kinds of hints.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
And I'm sure there's more we're going to go, oh, okay. We just didn't get it. Yeah.
Yeah. It's all going to come together. Talk about shadow side.
Oh, definitely. He just lives his shadow side. Yeah.
Yeah. As collective.
As a collective. So I would love if anybody has wants to have any cards read. That's kind of what we do in the last half hour or so. I would love to ask a political questions if that's what you like to do. You do like to.
I love political questions.
Right. I'm wondering about Cawthorn. Did you hear that he's what is it, the voting board? They're pulling out the Constitution and they're saying he was at an insurrection.
He did what? He did what?
The board of electors in North Carolina say that are filing a suit against him because he was at that rally and he was saying everybody to be violent and everything like that.
Right. So he was adamant.
He is being pulled out, and he is. They're using the Constitution because it was like sedition or whatever. Yeah. Yep.
Which they should.
So he can't run again. That's the point. He can't.
Yeah. That's what they're trying to get him to do.
Yeah. There you go, Sheila. Thank you. Will the 14th Amendment be successful?
All right. Let's take a look.
All right.
Take a look.
We just like to.
Thanks for posting it because I'm not seeing it in the chat. So.
All right. I'm the one that brought that one up. So, what is that?
So that's the Knight of Swords reversed. A man who's out of control, fighting. This is like the expression, a tale told by an idiot, full of sound and fury, signifying nothing. That's what this card reminds to me. And so, he's just doing his thing, and it could mean violence sometimes and being out of control. So That's like a confirmation of his actions, really.
His actions. Yeah.
Yeah.
So they'll find some proofs, I guess.
There's going to
Ooh,
be healing here of loss. Well, that's good omen that this could be successful. Let's just take a look
they
here.
said if he gets convicted of it, that it's not good news for Trump either. So,
Yeah. There's a woman here who's part of
Oh,
this,
okay.
which is kind of interesting. I'm not
It
sure who she is because I'm not really sure the
Right,
different
right.
women around
I
him
understand.
or
Yep.
prosecuting him. Maybe this is someone from the
From
state.
the board.
It's
Yeah.
from the
state.
board
Uh-huh.
and this is like the outcome card. This is the Two of Wands reversed in this spread. Now, when I read this, it can be a rapid change or transformation for the good or bad. It's like you're in one state of being and then circumstances take you in a completely different place. I would say that the 14th Amendment is going to work against him and that there's going to be some healing for people because he's out of control. A woman is definitely part of this, and he is not his place. What was his office again? I always forget.
He's a congressman he took Mark Meadows' job in Congress. He's a guy in a wheelchair. He's like 25. Yeah.
So it's going to be, I think I have power now, but it's going to be completely transformed in the opposite direction.
Sure.
With this card.
Sheila says he's a test case for this. He really is.
Because it's bad for him.
Yeah, because you could do that for Jordan. You could do that for a lot of other people, but you have to start somewhere.
We have to start somewhere. And I know it's hard to find the actual evidence in the law to really get these guys. But once you have precedence, like you said, it becomes a lot easier.
It becomes a lot easier. And I heard him say, oh, this is something that hasn't been used for 250 years. And I'm thinking, buddy, you're supposed to be a constitutionalist, and it doesn't matter if it hasn't been used. If it's in the Constitution, then you swore an oath to the Constitution.
Maybe it took 200 years for someone who went against their country in this way. Like, that's what it's there for. Who would have known? People forget we're such a young nation. We're babies.
We are a young nation.
We're kind of in our adolescent stage, I think, right now, acting out.
Definitely. Oh, it's that pimply stage.
It is. We're very awkward right now. And just kind of clueless, thinking, and like the teenager has the ego, like nothing bad will ever happen to them. And I kind of feel like that was where we were as a nation. We're America. Nothing bad ever happens to us. Can't happen here.
That's right. And then they're saying they want everything to go back to the way it was. Well, the way it was is not the way you're acting. So
right.
It's crazy.
Exactly.
Thank you. That's a great one. Yep. So Gila Jules wonders, will the pardoned Blackwater hit team be caught for being involved in 1-6?
The pardoned Blackwater hit team. Can you, I'm sorry, what is the Blackwater hit team?
Yeah. If you can put it up, Jules, and let us know.
But what is the Blackwater hit team?
Yeah, it's a group of people apparently that were pardoned, but I'm not sure. So I can do a little search. Let me look. And she can probably write it there. Blackwater.
Sometimes I'm not sure about certain terminology. I'm sorry.
I understand, and you may not know. Oh, it's the Blackwater Company was a private military company, and with Navy SEALs.
Oh, right. And they were potentially part of the insurrection. Is that?
They were.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. And okay, it's all coming back to me. I know what we're reading on now. Okay, so let's take a look.
So they already had been pardoned once. It reminds me of Steve Bannon and Dingalings that were all pardoned and then got involved again.
And then got involved again. I like that. The Dingalings. I like that.
The Dingalings. Yes. Hi, blessed.
They're being released from the devil here.
Oh,
wow. Okay. They were being released here. So that could have been the pardon.
Yep.
Because then we have temperance. So that was probably the pardon. All right. So the strength card is reversed here as we move forward. They're not in a very strong position. There's a lot of, I'm getting a lot of violence from this and negativity and anger, lots of anger. Oh, there's the outcome. Death card. So
big changes. Yeah.
they're going to be I'm concerned about these last two because you have like the anger and the death. I got a strong violent feel. So maybe that's being held accountable for their actions on that day, since I guess that was the question. I think this represents more the pardon that they went through, but I think they're going to be sucked back into the investigation or held accountable for something with that death card.
Held accountable.
Yeah.
Just like the other people.
So that's good news.
Okay. Well, that's interesting. You know, all those other militias are being pulled back in. You know, they're being investigated. And then if they committed another crime after a pardon, they can be charged again for, that's true. Yeah.
That is true.
So Bannon can be and all the others that were let go.
That's right.
Yeah.
Well.
Oh, I love this. Oh, one of them was from the town you live in, Jules. Oh my goodness. I have a couple of insurrectionists that live down the street from me. I don't know them, but yeah.
Yikes.
Betsy DeVos. She was the Secretary of Education. Oh, yeah.
Now I know Betsy. Betsy is not my friend.
Betsy, I know. She's unbelievable. Her brother Eric, he's also involved in something.
Yeah.
I remember hearing about him. Yeah.
Are we asking a question about him?
I think she's asking Carolyn, were you wanting an answer on this? Is he a prince or is that his attitude? I love that.
Last name Prince. Or is that his attitude?
Possibly. Yeah. The two of them and Louis DeJoy. Oh.
Yeah, I know. Every day you wake up and you're like, why is he here?
Why is he here still? Yeah.
So what does she want to know besides his attitude about Eric Prince?
Was he part of Blackwater? He was part of Blackwater.
Okay.
All right.
He was part of Blackwater.
So between him being involved in the insurrection and Ginny Thomas, they said the other day that Clarence Thomas was the only one that voted to let Trump's records be not released, to hold the records and all that. He was the only one of the Supreme Court. Somebody said that's going to come back on him because Ginny's very involved with this. She's financially involved.
Right. Well, when we asked about the Blackwater posse, we got the death card as the outcome, so it didn't look good.
Yeah. No. Okay. All right. Yep. Eric Prince, the guy in the Blackwater. All right. So today I went out. I go out in the morning and get a coffee at the coffee shop and come back. It's my daily routine. And I looked while I was waiting for my coffee. I looked at my, and it said, looks like that Russia is not going to wait until the 20th. They were thinking that it was going to be after the Olympics were over. It looks like they're going to pounce. I wonder if you get any feeling about any of that.
All right, let's take a look.
Sure. Maybe that's what Linda G is talking about. I don't know.
It's interesting. I'm starting with like what's under the situation and the 7 of coins reverse. A lot of anxiety with this card. Putin feeling really insecure about his position. And there's a financial element here. I think he's getting pressure. You know what? I'm instantly feeling with Putin that it's almost like things have not gone as planned, that I get him in an insecure position with this card. Feeling pressure from maybe the oligarchs because there's something financial, but it's kind of like a cornered dog feeling, like when you're in a corner, you've painted yourself in a corner. Yeah. And I'm getting a lot of anxiety, which may not be good. Let's this could be the Olympics, actually. I know this sounds weird because I'm getting sort of a meeting place.
And he met with Chairman Xi there, or Xi, or whatever his name is, from China, and they talked. I know they did at the Olympics.
There's like the gathering and this could be the soldier, the sort of like he wants to move forward. But the interesting thing about this night, it's being more cautious, more careful, more methodical. about moving forward. There's a plan that's being hatched here. It might have something to do with that celebration. If he was having talks, maybe it was someone to kind of calm him down and, all right, let's make a plan here. Like, don't do anything crazy.
But he didn't listen to anybody.
Biden.
Either.
This is ending with Biden. All right. See, like, I know probably Linda G is probably getting something totally different, but I'm almost feeling like, yeah, he was ready to do something irrational. Like, I was feeling that anxiety, like painted in a corner. Right. But it's like someone talked him down off the ledge around the Olympic time and kind of got him to slow down and kind of make a plan. And then all of a sudden I get Biden as the outcome. So it could be that if he's going to move forward, like this sort of implies, he's not going very far. I feel like this represents, this is my Biden card. This would be our position in America. There's a plan to meet him there. I'm almost getting that he becomes the man of the hour. Biden, not Putin, is kind of what I'm getting.
Well, let's hope so, because he's got the worst ratings and I don't know why. And he's done so, I mean, look at all the jobs he's created, all the other things. It's just amazing. Everyone's picking on him because he's old. I'm tired of that. Yeah. Sheila agrees with you. Yeah.
I almost feel like everyone, like, no matter what happens, which, you know, maybe he is going to move forward. It's not like that Knight of, remember we got the Knight of Swords, the man who with is it Cawthorn?
Yeah.
And it's just like, he's out of control and impulsive, but Putin is slowing himself down and Biden's going to stop him. So no matter what happens, I don't think it's going to go too far. Like, I think it could be the end of him, really.
Well, that would be nice, because, we have this question that goes along with it. Will Navalny's wife, Yulia, be elected as the president of Russia? He's not dead, though, is he, Jules?
He's still alive, right?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
He's in prison, though, right?
He is in prison, and he's not, all those things that happened to him, he may not be well. I don't know. So
he was tortured and not very good things.
Yeah. There's so many bad things that, I mean, I was thinking about when they invaded the Crimea. I don't remember hearing about the buildup around the Crimea as much as I have for this, because this has taken, a month or more or whatever to build up. And now we've got our jet fighters over there.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say, I kind of get a good Russian feel here with, but this is the man who's underneath it. I'm asking about Navalny's wife. I'm not getting a success card. I am getting a man here who has some power to, not moving forward here. So
it might be him.
Let me just do one more card. Yeah. Oh, money talks again. Money talks.
Oh, geez.
You know, the man. It might be that she's the people's choice. But there's a really strong money talks kind of feel there. Yeah. So it could be that another man is put in that will benefit more the financial element of that country.
Sure.
But that's what I'm getting in the initial transition. I mean, who knows as time goes on, but I guess maybe not initially is kind of what I'm getting.
Yeah. Yep. There's so much going on in so many different places and it's really hard to be able to nail anything, and things can change on a dime.
See, that's the thing. Like, for example, Healer, like, she could be picking up something down the road, you know, and I kind of just took it as like the next, I honestly asked it like the next president, but maybe what she's seeing is something that's a little bit
something
further
that
away.
Might come. Yeah, because I don't believe they're not that old. They're in their 40s, I believe, early 40s or something. So yeah, he's the one that's probably in his mid 60s, but wasn't he going to try to stay until 2035 or something? I mean, he's already been there 20 years or more as the president.
Yeah.
He's
just inserted himself in until someone takes him out, basically. Yeah. As a dictator.
As a dictator. I know. And that's the creepy part, but we've got all these people positioned in those, and that's, you know, somebody also said that Trump is still sending letters back and forth to Kim Jong-un. I thought that was interesting. It wouldn't surprise me.
That's just so strange. Like just that whole situation.
Yeah. He
Yeah.
just loves being with these men that are dictators like Bolsonaro and several
It's
others.
more like just be my friend.
Just be
Be
my
my
friend.
buddy. It's a
Yeah.
very needy feeling when
It
you
is.
see
Yeah.
his interaction with these people and you're just like, they're playing you like a fiddle, man.
They are. Yeah. Yep. So Vivian said, what do you see for Navalny? Was that the man underneath? I don't know if that was the man underneath or
I
not.
kind of felt like the man underneath might be the next
Right.
president, but I wasn't feeling that because there was a money feel to it. But let me just ask,
Okay.
as far as Navalny, what do we
Jules,
see?
I've heard that Un is dead, but then I saw a documentary on him and he looked the same. So I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I do feel like there's something weird, like he may have been sick for a time or something was a little
definitely.
off. But
yeah.
All right. So for Navalny, this is a message he wanted to give. There's a lot of love here that he has for his country. But I also feel like right now he's
got more than he can handle.
Yeah, I was going to say it's like he isn't well. Like I almost feel like the voice is not as strong, but that's because of something physical. I actually do feel that.
Yeah, I agree. I think he's not well. Yeah, I don't think he's well.
The world is reversed, so things have not come to closure with his situation, which could be good news here. I do have the page of coins. This is a student card. But there's also a sense of a new beginning, like starting something new, wanting to start a new economy, a new beginning with younger people. That's kind of what I'm feeling here. Maybe that's his goal. That's why it's like, I'm not finished yet, even though I'm weaker. Right. I will tell you.
You can think about Nelson Mandela doing that. Remember, we never thought he'd come to power. Yeah.
And we never thought. I will say, though, this is another card that indicates weakness. Like I don't have the drive, the motivation. He's passing the torch. That's the sense I'm getting with this card. I'm kind of saying with Navalny, I mean, maybe this is health because that's what I was feeling. Like the will is there, the passion is there. I want to have that beginning for younger people. I love my country. But I don't have the physical strength right now with this card. It's a very physical card. And in the reversal, it's kind of like I need to pass the torch to the next person. So it could be that he's just not well enough to do what he really wants to do.
I would say that would be because the jails there are just abysmal. I can't even imagine, I don't know if they're beating on him. They probably are, but he probably isn't eating well. He's not sleeping. Probably, it's not a good scenario. So that's good. So Bolsonaro, he's being investigated for war crimes, I believe.
Which one is Bolsonaro?
He's the one in Brazil that yes,
and he takes Brazil.
Yes, and remember all those people that died, and he had them buried all, up.
Right. I saw one of the documentaries on him that was at the Oscars. Was it a year or so ago, and how he came to power.
Yes. Yes. And so the cabinet or whatever, they've all been I haven't heard much more about it, but he takes hydroxychloroquine all the time. He never wears a mask, and he's just a crazy man. He really is. I hope he gets jailed. I really do.
Let's kind of see what's coming up for him.
He's a criminal. Yeah. Yeah. They all came out of the woodwork. Oh, Biden again.
That's interesting. He's isolated. This is when I get the Hermit reversed. For me, it's a symbol of extreme isolation.
Okay.
To the point of loneliness. So it could be a metaphor for him, since Biden is here, really being ostracized from what we would consider the European countries or that alliance, or maybe economically. Like, I'm sorry, if you're going down this path, you're not really connected to us with business and so forth. I get a sense of isolating them. And he's on the defensive with this page, very much causing trouble. His outcome here, this is when he just builds walls around him. He's
Okay.
trying to defend himself from his enemies. What this says to me is, although it kind of ends that way, like, okay, I'm going to put up my fortress. It could be that he's on his way out. People are starting to go after him now.
Okay. Wow.
All right,
So Mimi Rose, Putin's getting ready to attack Ukraine. Biden ordered Americans to leave Ukraine within 48 hours. Okay. That could be why she was, it may not go well. It may not go, but the Ukrainian army is all preparing for this. And they were already thinking that it's already a war. And they were trying to, I don't know if you heard about the false flags they were trying to.
Yes, I did hear about that.
Yeah. My daughter's boyfriend, they live together, their partner. He is from Romania. And Romania, that's where we sent some troops, and we sent some to Poland, I think, to be close to where it is. And his mother called yesterday, and we thought, oh God, because it's not that she's that close, but she's also not that far away. So, but unfortunately she called with a cancer diagnosis. So,
oh, I'm so sorry.
Just too much going on in that part of the world, though. It's very scary.
It really is.
It is.
I want to say, though, since we saw that Biden card as the outcome, is maybe that our guides are just saying, like, it's okay. Like, even though he was moving forward with that Knight of Coins, it's going to be okay. He's going to be held at bay. So
our folks are getting involved in it. Now, a lot of people, the Republicans, are not happy because he's sending people over there, but they would be very unhappy if we... if we don't have any relationship.
He didn't do anything, he would be, they would say, he's so weak, he's not taking care of business.
Yeah.
It really doesn't matter what they think.
He was called the geriatric idiot or something like that. And I get really, really incensed by stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I think he's doing what he can do. He's only doing what he can do.
That's right.
But Miss Charlotte, could it be a ploy to get the Americans out? Well, I do know that they told the families of the Americans to get out, and they were only keeping the diplomats there and stuff. But yes, and I heard Israel pulled out all their people. So there is something going on. But wow. Yep. Yeah. Amazing. Okay, so what's this say? News is saying that they have changed to an urgent message to leave now. Okay. So all of the lies coming from them, but maybe that's why he's going to be trigger happy at this point. Like you said, he feels cornered, and I wouldn't imagine he doesn't want to be cornered by anybody.
I kind of feel like this is like his last stand. Like he knows that, and I keep getting like he's getting pressure from people with money. So maybe he's getting pressure from all sides, and this is just like, I have nothing to lose. Let's go. But I feel like someone tried to talk him off the ledge. It has something to do with that Olympics, because we saw that there. So maybe this is one of those things that he just is doing this to save face.
I think so. He's got all those people there. What's he going to do with them? He has to do something, right? That's why it doesn't make sense.
If he takes them all home, he's going to be seen as weak, and he would never do that.
He would never do that.
Even if he tries to cross the border or goes and then Biden halts them, at least he can say, like, he can spin it and, I don't know, turn it into something against Biden or something like that. But
I know.
I think that he is probably in that place, but I guess I feel like Spirit's telling us that it's going to be okay.
I hope that Spirit is, because I feel so bad for the Ukrainian people, and what is it, the general there, the not the attorney general, but the guy that's the head of the armed forces, that guy, he said that they would at least lose at least 50,000 people if they did invade. So so we're sending 30,000 more. And some people that I've talked to in the last week have been hearing that live near military bases are seeing a lot of activity. Yeah, they're seeing trains, planes, buses, everything. So I mean, they can't tell anybody.
One way or another, we have to go. These are our NATO allies, and this is also, if you start letting countries cross into Europe, I mean, just thinking about the history of,
I know.
since World War II. I mean, that's the whole reason we have NATO to begin with, because of
Right.
these kinds of shenanigans. And we know if we study history, we know where that can lead, and it's not in a good
Absolutely.
place.
Absolutely.
So if we're good students of history, we have to hold people like that in check now. And that's it. And so if it means, that's why we have to send troops. I mean,
Right.
we're indebted to do so. Hopefully, though, through diplomacy and other means that we don't see, it's not going to be as bad. That's what I'm praying for.
I mean,
But
we
it does
just got out of one
yeah.
mess. Now we have to get into it. And
Into
that always
another
seems
one.
to happen, doesn't it?
Yeah.
We just get out of it because we haven't been out of that mess for very long in Afghanistan. And now there's something else cooking itself up. I hope it's not World War III, Mimi Rose. I hope not. We don't want to put that out there.
I mean, I suppose, there's free will when it comes to things like that. But honestly, I've never gotten that kind of Armageddon feel for this. I don't know if there's any psychics in the chat who've got something different. I just kind of feel like just what the cards say, that Biden would probably be the man of the moment to kind of hold things at bay with obviously his allies.
And I've seen Macron has been working also with him. The French, the French president has been working. No, he's been trying to do some work with Putin. So
with Putin,
he's been doing some talks with him as well. So if maybe he doesn't like Biden, but maybe he can work with Macron. And I know Joe will say, "Go for it,"
right?
Because that's the way it is. Yeah.
Yep. Whatever works.
Whatever works. I have one more question. It's not political, but it is kind of political.
Okay.
But thank you for answering. These are wonderful readings that you're giving us. I appreciate it. And I don't do a lot of politics on here, but we got a lot going on. It's the Canadian truckers.
Oh yeah, Canadian truckers.
They were saying that they are going to come down to LA and block the Super Bowl. And
is that the question of what if they would do that?
I don't know. What kind of question can we format this in? What I'm seeing is Americans stirring all this up. It's not the Canadians, I don't think. I think it's the Americans. And I just saw a truck that had Canada, the word Canada on it, and somebody had painted in "Make Canada Great Again." Now, what do you? That's
so
pretty
kind of
telling.
Like who's behind all this, right?
That's kind of what
like is the American radical right behind sort of all this Canadian trucks shenanigans, as I like to call them?
That's true.
All right,
I'll let you think about it.
Right. Okay. So I do get, again, this is like a lesser bit player. It's almost like I've got some bit players here to kind of do the work.
Yep.
There's a world connection here. So you know what? It's not even just American.
Okay.
I think
there's other people from other places that are doing
it. Be along the same ilk, like
right.
I mean, but it could be like related to not just America, but Russia and other nations that might have had the same philosophy. There's some sort of world connection here.
There is, because there's some other place that's having the same problem. And I can't tell you, it was maybe Italy or something. I can't remember. So yes, you're right.
Okay.
They're having the same protest over there somewhere else. Yeah.
Yeah. And this is the abundance factor, sort of upset, like we're going to upset the sort of abundance of, I guess, not just Canada, but because that's how we can kind of get things. Yeah. And it's interesting. This is a travel card, which is kind of, let's stop that travel. Let's stop it. Let's move forward. And we can do that. We can upset that sense of abundance. There's, all right, I know this is weird, but I'm getting an internet thing here, something electronic, that maybe that's the kind of communication to kind of bring it all together in order to give the message to, get them to do what they're doing. Yeah, I'm getting a world. They got bit players. So these people who are doing it are kind of like for hire. Like, we'll get this guy. They're not like necessarily important people in the movement, but they're
Right.
you'll do this for an extra $1,000. Excellent. Like that kind of
Right.
thing.
Oh yeah. They're always out there waiting. It's
Yeah.
like the people standing in back of him when he talks,
Yeah. Like
and they're clueless. They're like, but they get paid to stand there.
or they don't care about
Oh, they
any
don't care.
particular philosophy. They'll be like, oh, you're going to pay me? Excellent.
Yeah,
I'll do
take
it.
the money. Right. So Linda said it's going to be short-lived. There you go. And you kind of said that. So you are right on the money with that.
Yeah.
Many were on her live, and so everybody's getting that impression. That's really good to know that we can get the validation from other psychics this quickly.
It is.
So.
And sometimes people get pieces of it.
They do.
But when you can put it all together, you're like, oh, okay.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. That is wonderful. Oh, I had a really good time. I
had a good time
so
too.
much. Good.
Thank you so much for inviting
yeah.
me, and everyone out there. Thank you for visiting.
Thank you for being here with us today and meeting Carrie. And there's other people that have subscribed, so I'm so happy.
Oh, thank you so much.
Yes.
And I do a broadcast.
Come back anytime.
Thank you.
Yes, I would love to have you, or I'd come to you, whatever you need.
Oh, if I can ever go live again sometime in the future, you're going to be the first person I invite.
Oh, well, that's great.
We got to get me to 1,000 though, so I can do that.
We're working on it, girl. You got to get up there so you can get your community board.
So I can do some lives and get community board and so forth.
Absolutely.
But thank you so much.
Thank you so much. And you hang on just a minute so we can talk. And I'm going to say goodbye to everybody here. Take care. Have a good day. Be safe. Put your prayers in line for a swift ending